All right, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Washington Commanders, and the current spread is -3.5 for the Eagles, +3.5 for the Commanders. A lot of this has to do with the um, Eagles being home, but after we look at these last four game stats, you're going to probably see that it's not the home right now. The Eagles are just playing better. They're giving up only 14.8 points per game the last four, and that defense has got a lot better under Vic Fangio as they got healthy over the season. And the points per game for the offense is 28.3, and they play a lot better at home, as most teams do. But the Commanders are scoring 27.0 on offense, and they're also another good defense, which is 18.5. But as we saw against the Steelers last week, the, um, the Steelers played pretty darn good against this good defense, with Russell Wilson showing the world that he definitely should be the starting quarterback. They should have got a couple more scores that they because the Steelers turned the ball over, and both of those times that's just a lucky thing that happened against the Steelers. So Commanders could have lost even more in that game than they already did. They're averaging 246 yards in the air on offense, the Commanders are, and they're giving up only 165. But the Eagles are doing better on passing yards per game the last four on the defense side, with only 141, and they're passing 193 on offense. Passing yards per attempt is pretty good for the Eagles right now, 9.9, and only 5.7 on the defense, which that's their strong suit, and 8.6 passing yards per attempt for the Commanders' offense, but 7.4 on defense, playing better defense the Eagles are. But both these offenses are pretty good. But as we saw, the cooler it gets outside, Daniels is not playing as good as he was when it was warmer weather, as happens with a lot of players. You want the players that play really good in the cold or any of the elements that the weather might bring. And that's why Tom Brady was one of the best, too. He could really play in that New England air. Rushing yards per attempt, 4.6 is all for the Eagles on offense, but the Commanders are even worse for 4.5. Commanders are giving up 5.1, so that tells you why teams are trying to run against them. And the Eagles are only giving up 3.6. That defense is pretty good. Pretty darn good. Um, let's go to points per play, 2.9 for Eagles, 3.3 for the Commanders. They're better on the offense, but 3.0 for the Commanders on defense, which is zero point 0.6 higher than the Eagles' defense, which is 2.4. And for points per play, that is a large gap between the defenses. So that tells you with rushing and um, passing together, the Commanders are just playing worse defense than the Eagles are and could be getting lucky in a lot of these games. But the one benefit the Commanders have, they just don't turn the ball over. Zero turnover, well, average of zero for the last four, which that could technically be zero point 0.3, zero point 0.2, but, or no, that can't be zero point 0.3, so 0.2, zero point 0.1, something like that. It might be zero. I haven't really looked into that, but that's a very low turnover rate, and that tells you why they're coming away with a lot of these wins. The Eagles' total expected points 13.6, 9.9 for the Commanders, and that it gives us a 3.7 difference. That's favoring the Eagles, so basically the same as the current spread. And then if we scroll over here, we got 65.8% chance winning for the Eagles with our simulations with points per game on both sides and the rest of the stats, and 34.2 for the Commanders, and the spread -4 for the Eagles, only 0.5. The margin is that's not a bet because as I say, 3, 4, 5, something like that, margin between the line, and you want to bet that. But right now, and the total expected points are right on it, so you want to bet if you use that either. Right now, this is not a teaser opportunity for the long if you're doing the Stanford long way, and because at 3.5 is too high. You want it if you can get it down to a 3, 2.5, 1.5, then you might want to bet it. But in that case, you might want the 3.5 too. You never know how the sharps are gonna bet on these games. There's a lot of green here. The only lower thing there'll be for the game cards looks like the passing yards per play, and point differential is better for the Commanders, but the Eagles always keep themselves in these games. And with Hurts running or throwing, it's a hard team to defend against. But I will not be betting it currently. If it gets down to that long teaser number, whether if the Eagles go up to, say, the Eagles go up to 7.5 or 7, I would take that one, -1 with a 6-point teaser and match it up with another one. But right now, that's not a bet. So if you bet, good luck. My name's Jordy. I'm watching Betman Sports Betting, and I'll see you in the next video.